and welcome to Adrian High School and the Julianne and George Arduous Performing Arts Center. I am Jenny Engel, Director of the Adrian Schools Educational Foundation and the Adrian High School Alumni Association. Thank you all for being here. This is our annual Outstanding Teacher and Mentor Awards Night. Traditionally, we have celebrated outstanding alumni along with our Teachers and Mentors Awards. However, our outstanding alumni were presented with their awards earlier in the year during Homecoming Week. We are so pleased to be able to be here in person tonight to celebrate our Maples. Tonight we will present 6 outstanding Teacher and Mentor Awards, 3 from our 2020 selection process and 3 from our 2021 selection process. These outstanding individuals have all made a positive impact for the students of Adrian Public Schools. Being a parent of 4 Mighty Maple alumni myself, I have been lucky to have experienced firsthand some of the impact that these teachers and mentors have had not only on my own children, but also on countless other APS students. I have also had the pleasure of getting to know them a little more as we prepared for tonight's presentations. The nominations came from students and parents and were a pleasure to read. Congratulations to each of our Maple teachers and mentors that are being recognized tonight. A number of years ago, Terry Keeley, a graduate of the Adrian High School class of 1977, offered funding to award teachers and staff for their impact on students. We are appreciative of Terry and his generosity, and we thank him for his thoughtfulness in recognizing the importance of honoring those who are so impactful in shaping the future of our students. The mission of the Adrian Schools Educational Foundation is to support the educational excellence of Adrian Public Schools. We are thrilled to give to Adrian Schools to enhance the educational experience for today's students. The foundation, through the generosity of donors, has given more than $1 million to the schools over the past 33 years. We are proud to partner with teachers and staff to enhance their creativity and effectiveness in their classrooms by supporting requests for programs and initiatives that go above and beyond the district budget. Through earnings that come from 2 endowments, we are able to provide these classroom and art grants that cultivate and support creativity. Our prize patrol will be sharing this year's grant awards in the coming days. We will award $75,000 in grant money this year. We look forward to seeing the grants in action throughout the school year. Depending on the entrance that you came into through this evening, you may have noticed some student artwork that was glowing. Just last week, the visual arts and performing arts came together to present the AHS Marching Band and Glow Show. The band performed in the dark with band members covered in glow sticks. The gallery, as you may have seen, was filled with black lights and glowing artwork. There's a photo from the band performance in your program tonight. This is just one great example of the creativity and collaboration that takes place throughout our schools. I would now like to introduce our Superintendent, Bob Benke, who will add his welcome.
Before I begin my program comments, I want to thank the Educational Foundation, our community, our alumni, our teachers, and staff for the tremendous support and substantial donations that impact the teaching and learning that takes place all across Adrian Public Schools. Thank you. As Superintendent of Adrian Public Schools, I have the pleasure to work daily with our outstanding mentors and teachers. Over the last 8 years, what I have learned from our teachers, principals, support staff, and mentors has helped me to become a better educator and has helped me to keep the focus for the district on what is best for students, teaching, and learning. For that, I thank all of our APS staff members. I love to sit back and watch the videos during the award segment of tonight's program. The kind words from former and current students and parents highlight the amazing efforts and tremendous love that you have for your profession and the students that you guide. I will predict that there will not be any stories about how well you taught the periodic table of elements or how well you taught them to diagram a sentence, and if that's still even needed today. But tonight you will hear about the relationships that were established through the vehicle of instruction in the class content that made the people that nominated you the fine men and women and young men and women that they are today. It is these relationships, these values that helped ignite a passion for learning, the same passion and learning that you share with your content and with your students on a daily basis. The outstanding mentors recognized tonight range from elementary, middle, and high school to track and field coach, with years of experience ranging from just a few here in the district to an entire career and lifetime as a Maple. Think of the span of experience and the vast differences that took place and how that has influenced hundreds and into thousands of students over a career or over just a few short years. The last 2 years have been exceptionally difficult for educators, and I want to recognize not only the hard work of those being honored tonight, but recognize all Adrian Public Schools employees for their hard work and dedication put forth. For that, I applaud you, and we all owe you a brief round of applause and gratitude for the work that you've done to help our students succeed. Thank you to the Educational Foundation for their continued support and programming, and most importantly, their ability to pivot and provide resources and supports to teachers and students in ever-changing times. When field trips were not possible, virtual field trips took place. When teachers needed technology to reach students that chose to go virtually, the foundation was there to support innovation. When funding falls short and teachers want to enhance opportunities for our students, the Adrian Schools Educational Foundation has and will continue to provide much in terms of grants, project funding, and support for all of us to achieve and advance our work to improve our student success. For all of you that contribute to the foundation projects, thank you for your support. On behalf of Adrian Public Schools, congratulations to our outstanding mentors being recognized tonight, and as always, go Maples.
Thank you so much, Bob. Before we start the awards program, I would like to thank a few people who are instrumental in the work that we do. Carrie Holmes Butler is my coworker and the office manager for the ASEF and the Alumni Association. She is a treasure and adds a wealth of knowledge. And let me tell you, she exhibits Maple pride like no other. We're lucky to have her. Thank you to all of those who volunteer in our office. I would especially like to thank Carla Holmes, Connie Benz, Lisa Newman, and Pam Path. We couldn't accomplish what we do without your support. Many thanks to the ASEF's current and past leadership, all dedicated Maples who helped shape the foundation. I'm lucky to work with the foundation board and committee members who are passionate about Adrian Public Schools and the foundation's mission. Thanks to Ken Kintner of Video Productions of Lenawee for producing our highlight videos that you'll see tonight, and for taping tonight's event. Thank you to our students that are taking care of the technology here in the theater and those that helped welcome you tonight. Additionally, so many thanks to those of you that took the time to nominate and write letters of support for these awards. The positive impact that is expressed in each nomination we receive is truly a testament to the wonderful staff that APS has at each and every school. We are thrilled to be able to acknowledge and celebrate our outstanding teachers and mentors. If we could bring the house lights up for just a minute here, I'd quickly like to acknowledge a couple of groups of people. So please hold your applause until both groups are recognized. Would any current or past ASEF board members please stand? And would any teachers or staff who have been named outstanding teachers and mentors in the past please stand? If we could give everyone a round of applause. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Jay Van Buren. Jay is a Maple alumnus and the Adrian Schools Educational Foundation Board President. He will serve as our MC for this evening.
Thank you, Jenny. I'd like to add my welcome as well. Thank you all for celebrating and honoring our award recipients this evening. And without further ado, let's get started. Tonight we are honoring 6 outstanding Adrian Public Schools teachers and mentors. We will hear stories and watch video that exhibit excellent work in and out of the classroom. I'll ask that each honoree be ready to come forward when they're called after their video presentation. Tonight's first outstanding teaching and mentoring award recipient to be recognized is Jim Miller.
Jim Miller is being recognized for his role as an outstanding mentor and coach for student athletes in the Adrian High School track and field program. Jim is a local guy, having graduated from Adrian High School. He comes from a family of runners with 3 brothers and 3 sisters who earned varsity letters at Adrian High School in either cross country and/or track. Jim's personal experiences and success as a track and field athlete undoubtedly helped shape the outstanding coach that he is today. During Jim's high school career, he made a name for himself on the cross-country and track teams. Jim captured the Class A regional championship for 3 consecutive years. In his senior year, he was the Class A state champion after facing over 400 different runners and remaining undefeated. Jim next took his talent to Siena Heights College, where he continued to excel and became an NAIA All-American in 1979, the first ever in any sport at Siena Heights. Miller's All-American time of 25 and 40 was a freshman record at Siena, and it stood for 20 years. Jim duplicated his NAIA All-American effort in 1982 with a 17th place finish in the cross-country championships with a time of 25 and 41. Sandwiched between his NAIA All-American performances were an NJICAA All-American performance in 1980 while attending Jackson Community College. In 1982, he was named the NAIA District No. 23 Individual Cross Country Champion. Jim began his Adrian High School coaching career in 1986 as a boys' assistant coach under Herb Mills. After several years away from coaching, he returned as assistant girls coach under Roy Gonzalez in 2004, working with the distance runners, high jumpers, and hurdlers. When a new women's coach was hired, he retained his position, and over the last 4 years, in addition to the girls' events, he has been working with the boys' distance runners.
Nice, 48. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. Nice. 55. Good job, ladies. 59.
Right before the mile, Coach Miller always gets us hyped up, ready to go. His motivation to coach us is amazing. I love it. And at practices, he just pushes us to be the greatest we can be. And I really like that about him.
Coach Miller is just a really great coach. He's super invested in all of us, and he really puts a lot of time into making sure we all do our best and are running our fastest times.
She keeps us humble, keeps us working hard, and motivates us to keep working every day. And he teaches us to have bigger goals than just the small meets and focus on the bigger meets.
He trusts his runners, and I think that's huge in coaching. He knows he has experience in running, and he just knows what's best for us and knows that we know what's best for us.
At our last regional meet, our 4x4 qualified for states, and that was super fun, and Coach Miller was there to congratulate us right away and motivate us to run our fastest times at that meet.
Jim Miller has inspired and directed several winning teams and individuals in his coaching career. One of Jim's former athletes tells about their team's success in 1986 and 1987, in which Jim coached their 4x800 meter team to a school record in 1987 that still stands. As the mid-distance and distance running coach for the track and field team, Coach Miller has been a tremendous support, inspiration, and advocate for his athletes. One parent mentioned Coach Miller coached his daughter's 4x800 team to qualify for the state meet. Another parent wrote that under Coach Miller's guidance, his daughter earned all state honors in 3 separate events, set 2 Adrian Public School records, and won many conference and regional titles. He has also coached a girl runner to the state meet that included her setting a school record and another girl track member to a state meet record in the long jump. These parents give much credit to the coach for these successes. Coach Miller is described as a special coach of high character, an exemplary coach and mentor, and a most positive role model for these athletes. He models respect, integrity, and persistence and brings out the best in others both on and off the field. His positive energy inspires students to strive for their goals and encourages them through their challenges. It was noted that during the COVID pandemic, Coach would text weekly to check in with his athletes to see if they were healthy and how they were doing with the changes. Outside of practice, he will text his athletes and check in numerous times to see how everyone feels after practice and how they feel for the meets. One parent nominator summed up these feelings by saying, "Coach Miller is a quiet treasure and one of immeasurable worth." Coach Miller currently works as a recreation director at the Maurice Spear campus in Adrian. Jim credits his wife, Sherry Rossi, and his daughter, Olivia Miller, as his inspiration for being the best that he can be.
Congratulations, Coach Miller.
Congratulations, Jim. Please come forward to accept your award.
Wow, that was amazing. I've got a cheat sheet here because if I don't follow it, I will drift and wander off. So that was just absolutely amazing. I'm just totally impressed and amazed, and just feel so good about seeing those kids out there, our athletes. That was just touching. I better move on. That was something. Before I get started, I want to congratulate all the award recipients for their honors. Obviously, they do a great job in their respective roles with the students and the schools. So congratulations to all of you. You mentioned my wife Sherry there. She is sitting over here. Near the end of that video, my daughter Olivia was mentioned. She lives in California. Sherry and I were married in May, so I think when I got this award, we weren't married at that time. So now, as a result of that marriage, I have 4 more daughters. Devin, Jenica, Josie, and Jayla were all Adrian High grads, and 3 of them are college grads, and one's going to school. Really good girls, so I feel blessed to have them as my daughters. And the oldest, Devin, gave birth to a baby boy in January, so I'm a grandparent too. Patrick Jr., so just blessed to have him as well. Also in attendance is my brother Wes and sister-in-law Pat. They're sitting over in this area as well. I first got into cross-country and track watching my brother Wes compete at Adrian in the early 1970s. He was a standout cross-country and track athlete. Ran with Roy Gonzalez and a lot of great athletes at that time. So when I was younger, we would come to the track meets, and I just was amazed at him. He was a school record high hurdle holder for many years, 800 relay, and I was just so impressed. You know, you look at your siblings, and whether it's academics or sports, and they're great role models. And he's always been one for me, and I'm glad he was able to come down and be a part of this. He inspired me to get into track and cross country, you know, and do some of the things that were mentioned in that video piece. I'd also like to point out too that there are other coaches that are involved in the success of these athletes, from the middle school coaches to other coaches at every level. So it's not just me. And really, when it comes down to it, coaches, we try to motivate, direct, but it's up to the athletes themselves to put in the work, and we benefit from the success of our athletes, so hats off to them, they're tremendous. Here, I'm trying to find my page. I want to thank the foundation and the Alumni Association for this honor. And a special thanks to the Dempsey Force and Rab families who just have been staunch supporters of me as a coach over the years. I read a couple times their letters of recommendation, and I just had to read them a couple times, and is that really me? I mean, they were so full of praise and support. It really is humbling. I coached Mike Dempsey a few years ago, and Mike was a great track athlete for us, and he's still on the record board as part of the 3200 relay. We got some people in this room, I think, that would like to supplant that, but Mike was tremendous for us, a great maggie, and Emma, his daughter, came and ran work for us and was a standout as well. The Rab family, Maggie, everybody knows about Maggie, and Rents Force, who was a great captain for our track team. So they've been tremendous. I just thank them so much for their support, and the parents of the current athletes as well. That's one of the greatest satisfactions that I have is getting to talk to the parents. I mean, we have a great community of parents here, and it's just, I feel like I built a lot of friendships through their student-athlete children, so. And I want to thank also a special thank you to Tammy Francis. It mentioned in there that Tammy kept me on as an assistant coach after Roy retired a few years ago, Roy Gonzalez. And she approached me, and I knew who Tammy was, but I really didn't know her well, but she was kind enough to ask me to stay on, and I'm so grateful for that. She has done a great job with our track program. Her and I actually coach a lot of these athletes together. So I really appreciate her letting me, continue to coach and being a part of the track program. And I'm probably going to be forgetting something, and so just give me a second, and I will move on and let others come up and speak. Well, last thing I think I'll close, and I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but thank all of you who have supported me over the years with kind words or, these type of, formal praises and that. I really sincerely appreciate it. I do want to give a shout out to the boys cross country team, and Sophie Skills and Yoseline, Vernon Campos. They're going to be competing at the state cross country meet this Saturday, and I wish them the best of luck. They're great kids, and I'm so excited for all of them. Our guys program, everybody recognizes them as being one of the best teams in the state. The girls have really made great progress. They're so amazing. So best of luck to all of them competing. Tom McNaughton has done a fabulous job with that cross-country program in developing distance runners at our school. Middle school coaches too. Too many people to actually identify and specifically point out, but Tom has been absolutely amazing. He makes our job in track a lot easier because the kids are motivated, they're informed, he stays right with them, stays in contact with them. Him and I have a good rapport, but he's absolutely been fantastic. So again, thank you to everybody, the foundation and the Alumni Association and everybody. I really appreciate it. Really.
Thank you, Jim. Our next Outstanding Teaching and Mentoring Award recipient is Nate Parker.
Nate Parker, principal of Springbrook Middle School, is being honored as an outstanding mentor. Honorable, trustworthy, conscientious, kind, passionate, compassionate, fair, and patient are the character traits noted throughout his nomination letters. One staff member called him a team player and added these comments. Nate is always looking at things to see how they can be made better, and always with students foremost in his mind. Staff, students, parents, and guardians are valued and treated with utmost respect, and Nate makes himself available to work through a problem or situation if it is at all possible. He's a hands-on leader.
Mr. Parker is a great principal here at Springbrook Middle School because he always keeps the school in line and everything's always organized. Hallways are always organized. It's just a great place to be and it's really well organized.
Mr. Parker does a really good job of making sure everybody's getting a good education. He makes sure everyone's getting to their full potential and that no one's really like getting behind and stuff. And he's making sure everybody's on their best behavior. And the school's just really organized, and he just does a really good job at teaching.
Mr. Parker enforces all the rules, so if someone's breaking the rules, he'll make sure that they follow them. And he also makes sure everyone is making smart decisions and keeping themselves healthy and happy.
Students, too, could see the leadership that Nate displayed. One student mentioned that Principal Parker is visible and approachable. He is always in the halls, cafeteria, sporting events, or stopping into classrooms. One former student said it was always great to come into a building with such a positive vibe. Parents are especially appreciative of Nate's leadership, communication, and genuine care for the parents and students, not only at Springbrook Middle School, but also as a representative of the Adrian Public School District. He displays a willingness to grow and learn from the parents and students. A new parent in the district was appreciative of the efforts he made to ease the transition for new parents and students to the district, as well as to Springbrook. She mentioned his leadership with the Parent Advisory Council, where he shares and gathers input from parents on pending decisions that will impact the students and parents. Another parent cited the great job he does keeping families informed in a timely manner. Additional parent comments said he approaches situations with confidence and understanding, and he listens and follows through. Parents said Mr. Parker keeps the school a positive, fun, safe learning environment for our students. In addition, they appreciate the job he did during the COVID pandemic, communicating the changes to how the students were going to be learning during these unprecedented times. The respect and regard that the staff holds for Nate is reflected in several of their comments. One teacher wrote, "Nate's vision, mission, and execution always has a singular, laser-sharp focus. What are the best practices for students?" His dignified and compassionate way with which he treats everyone is one of his many traits showing the character of this gentleman and role model. Another teacher stated, "He is always looking towards a positive future. He values our points of view and gives credit and praise to us during the school year." Working with Nate Parker made teaching in the middle school so darn fun and rewarding. A heartwarming comment from another teacher read, "I have never had a principal that has made me feel as valued as Mr. Parker. I truly love my job because of his efforts and leadership. Coming into this building has renewed my love of teaching and all that we do." One of Nate's peers wrote an impactful comment that sums up the contributions attributed to this administrator. "Nate is a great asset for education, he is a great asset for the community, and most importantly, he is a great asset for kids." Nate graduated from Adrian College with majors in Spanish and Earth Science. He also played baseball. He has a master's degree from Mary Grove College and an education specialist degree from Siena Heights University. Nate is married to Stacy and they have 4 children. Sean, a sophomore at Adrian High School, Adam, an 8th grader at Springbrook, Ethan, age 11, and daughter Casey, age 8.
Congratulations, Nate. Please come forward and accept your award.
Thank you. That was very touching, and I want to thank all the people that put together that non-denomination materials, from parents to students to my colleagues and staff members. Very humbling. But got a few more thank yous, but first I'd like to share a story that I think will put tonight the proper perspective. The tale is told of a magician who decided to create a spell that would take the best traits of different animals and then combine them to turn himself into a superhuman. After making a list of what he thought he would need, he went to the general store and started shopping for the necessary ingredients for the spell. For $1.50 a pound, he picked up the eye of an eagle for excellent eyesight. Another $1 per pound gave him the paw of a cheetah for incredible speed. Strength of a grizzly cost him 50 cents a pound. Heart of a lion was a little more costly at $5 per pound. He paid $1.75 for an owl talent to provide wisdom. The magician finally came to the aisle labeled brains. He anticipated that these would be a little more expensive, and he was right. Brains of a doctor, $25 per pound. Brains of a pilot, $15 per pound. And brains of a chemist, $30 per pound. He was shocked, though, when he saw the label. Brains of a middle school principal, $200 per pound. He looked at the clerk stocking the shelves and asked if it was a misprint saying, I understand school administrators must be smart, but $200 a pound, isn't that kind of expensive? The clerk looked at him and said, expensive? Are you kidding me? Do you know how many middle school principals you have to kill to find a pound of brains? I can appreciate that, but seriously though, I'm humbled by this honor. And when I consider my 12 years in Adrian, I am overcome with a feeling of gratitude. Every morning when I enter the building, I thank God for the opportunities He has given me and for the chance to work in such a great community. Every night when I leave, I thank God for the people I get a chance to work with and am privileged to work with. From the students who come to our school and the parents and community I am so blessed to work in. Adrian is truly a special community and a great school district that works tirelessly to meet the needs of all students. I want to thank the Board of Education and Superintendent Benke for the vision and direction they have given us in this district, that we truly look to the needs of all of our students. I want to thank the parents who helped the nomination process and who have supported us and trusted us with their kids over the years. Your support and cooperation are a large part of any success that we have at Springbrook Middle School. I've attended many of these celebrations over the years and am humbled to join all of the amazing educators that have been selected to receive this award. My thanks to the Adrian Education Foundation, not only for this recognition, but for all that you do to recognize teachers and support students with resources. The impact you have on our schools cannot be overstated. Thank you for your hard work and the resources that you always provide. To the teachers and staff at Springbrook, both past and present, it's great to see you here tonight, Danae and Sandy. To the teachers and staff, both past and present, you have not only my gratitude, but my admiration. Your effort, commitment, and dedication to students makes me look forward to coming to work every day and gives me joy. Your professionalism and passion for what you do has always been an inspiration to me. What you do is truly special, and I'm honored to be a part of the team. Congratulations, Tracy. That award is long overdue. I don't have time to name everybody I would like to thank tonight, but I do want to take a minute to acknowledge the Springbrook administrative team. Cindy Graham, Kathleen Duvall, Adam Ben Scooter, and Lisa Fisher. I can't thank you enough for your incredible work day in and day out. My gratitude to the great people at Springbrook is probably second only to the gratitude I have for my wife, Stacy. I could not do this job without you. There have been a lot of late nights, times when I'm away from home, when you've had to hold things together with the kids by yourself. Thank you for your grace and unwavering support. Regardless of what is going on or what stress I might have, knowing that I can always count on you gives me the balance that I need. Congratulations to all the recipients this year. Thank you, Adrian Education Foundation. Thank you to the Adrian community and to the Adrian Education Foundation. Thank you for your commitment to our schools. You are a big reason that it's great to be a Maple. Thank you.
Thank you, Nate. Our next outstanding teaching and mentoring award recipient is Tracy Pickle.
We honor Tracy Pickle as an outstanding teacher at Springbrook Middle School. She is a homegrown gal, having been born and raised in Adrian and graduating from Adrian High School. After graduation, she attended Western Michigan University to obtain her teaching degree. She also has a master's degree in educational leadership from Eastern Michigan University. 25 years ago, she started teaching math and science to first and second graders at Michener Elementary, then on to Drager 5-6, and 5 years ago to Springbrook Middle School to teach math. Tracy has said the greatest irony of her teaching career is that as a student, math was not her favorite subject. Today, she instills a love of math and learning in her students. Her nomination support letters from parents and students are filled with accolades about her ability to challenge her students to work hard and develop their organizational and precision skills that will be a huge benefit to them throughout their educational career as well as their adult lives. Several of them mentioned she has high expectations for her students and a belief that all students are capable.
Like Ms. Pickle also does always slow down if you don't get what we're doing in math. And our class is a very fast-paced class. So if you don't understand it, she always slows down and makes sure you can get like she gets what, like, so you get what you're doing.
The reason I nominated Miss Pickle was because she's able to break stuff down into more manageable pieces, and we take the time to be able to really understand what we're going to be learning and what we're learning currently, so that it's not just a rush to try to get stuff done. We actually take the time that we need in order to learn stuff, but the pace isn't also so slow that it gets boring. It's constantly you're learning something new, but you're taking the time you need in order to learn that thing.
I also think she explains things really well. She makes sure that you really, like Addison said, you know what you're doing so you can remember it. She prepares us well for tests and stuff. She gave us good study habits that we hadn't learned before this year, which was really nice. So
she goes through stuff really fast because she knows we can. And I think the thing that makes her a really great teacher is that she can cope with all different learning abilities. If you see stuff in pictures or words, stuff like that.
I think Miss Pickle is an outstanding teacher because she's really organized with her stuff. She replies to a lot of stuff instantly. She helped me out during algebra when I was struggling.
Whenever we have to learn something to memorize it, she always turns on a song that has its numbers in instead of the lyrics of the song, and it really helps. So I know the quadratic formula memorized now because of that.
Students hold her in high esteem as evidenced by their letters that contain these comments. It's a no-nonsense classroom. She is strict but supportive and always there to answer questions. She is kind to everyone and motivates her classes to do their best. She made me feel wanted and welcome the very first day I transferred to APS. She makes my day better. She goes above and beyond to make learning fun and exciting by telling stories and jokes and making us all have a good time. We do a lot of projects that make class fun, like the architect project that combined math and design. She never lets anyone fall behind in class. She is always willing to help using her own time. She taught me that it's more important to know how to get an answer than the actual answer. She helps us grow intellectually and emotionally. One story told of a student who had previously never struggled in math class but became frustrated in the advanced class. Miss Pickle took that opportunity to teach him how to be a better student, how to organize himself, how to take the time to do problems thoroughly and properly. The student began to trust her and respect her and succeeded under her guidance and excelled the rest of the year. Most of the students commented on the help they receive in Miss Pickle's classroom during her lunch period and after school in math or whatever need they might have. They cited her accessibility as a major factor in their success and their sense of well-being in school. Parent comments reflect their satisfaction as well. They appreciate her communications and dedication to their students. One parent noted Miss Pickle as extremely approachable to parents and is always willing to meet in person or over the phone. Her curriculum is planned out so parents can see what their students are doing. Another parent noted a personal call from Miss Pickle, stating the extra effort and productivity her student had shown. She appreciated the call so much she still has it on her answering machine. The parent added that Miss Pickle was instrumental in building her students' confidence and attitude toward school. One gratifying story that was noted occurred on the last day of class before the students were going to online school because of COVID. Tracy took time to talk to the students. Her focus was not on the school that they would miss, but on their well-being and how they were feeling about things. She talked to them about taking care of themselves during the time ahead. This was just another example of how she shows her students how important they are to her. Tracy believes it is her privilege to inspire our APS students. One grateful parent showed her appreciation for Ms. Pickle's efforts with this statement. There are certain teachers that leave a lasting impression for being such a positive influence in your life, and Ms. Pickle will be one of those special teachers for our children. Tracy and her husband Phil McVeigh reside in Adrian.
Thank you, Miss Pickle. You're a very good teacher.
Congratulations, Miss Pickle.
Congratulations, Miss Pickle. I think you really deserve this award, and keep doing what you're doing.
Congratulations, Mrs. Pickle. You deserve it.
Congratulations, Tracy. Please come forward and accept your award.
You really can't see out there. Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for attending tonight. It's good to see so many of the familiar students and old colleagues and administration and foundation members, so thank you. As you're aware, I received the award actually last school year, and the award is very special. This is very humbling and touching, but the attention and all of this kind of thing makes me very uncomfortable. I couldn't believe my luck. I won this award during the middle of the pandemic, and I thought, this is the year. There's no video, there's no ceremony and speech. I can do this. And then they came up with this year. So here I am, and we are together with me being nervous giving a speech. So thank you for being here with me and suffering through this. The true highlight of the whole thing, though, was really reading the letters. And they were kind enough to give me the letters last year, a few of them just to kind of let me have the taste of what this was all about. And I found two patterns emerging as I read the letters, and things from the video kind of echoed it. Students and parents mentioned that I value the learning process and that I hold students to really high expectations for their education. They specifically talked about inspiring students to be their best. And I think that that rings true. That's really something I've worked on. But I have to tell you all, these two traits were instilled in me from a very young age. I can attribute both of those traits, those qualities, to my parents. My parents really valued education, and they gave me the idea that if I worked hard in school, I could do whatever I wanted as an adult. They held me to high standards. Working hard in school when I was a student was the only option. As a child, I remember being told, you work hard and you can be whatever you want to do when you grow up. I remember also being not the most cooperative teenager, and as a mouthy teenager, I proudly announced one day that I was going to be a garbage collector. I was sure this would derail the lecture about having to work harder in my classes. But without missing a beat, my parents chimed in with, you'll be the best garbage collector there ever was. If that's the choice you want to make, fine. You'll be good at it, and you'll be the best there is. I didn't win that argument so well, because I still had to do the work. As I reflect on how this impacted my teaching career, I'm very humbled to tell you that the standards my parents held for me have carried over to what I expect from my students. I try to be a role model for them, and they see me give my very best effort. I do work hard to help them succeed. And in return, I expect their best efforts for me. I try to highlight how their work together with me will carry into future careers and opportunities beyond the classroom. We talk about how their futures are bright and what a strong education can do for them, what doors will open because of the choices and the habits they learn now. I tell them whatever job they choose, it will be an adventure, and they will be the best at it. They will make sure to achieve their goals. I even share the story that they can be a garbage collector if they want to be the best garbage collector there is. So thank you to my parents. They instilled the learning of a lifetime for me. And thank you to all of you for sharing yourselves and your kids with me and letting me do what I love to do every day here at Adrian Schools. So thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Tracy. Our next Outstanding Teaching and Mentoring Award recipient is Stephen Garrett, please.
Stephen Guerra is being recognized as an outstanding teacher at Adrian High School, where he has been a teacher since 2015. During his time at Adrian High School, he has been teaching math and started the robotics class in 2016. In addition to teaching, he was the class advisor for the 2019 class for 4 years and is now the advisor for the class of 2023. He is involved in various staff activities with assemblies, welcome back videos, and attending trainings and optional meetings that will help his colleagues, like Google training and technology. Some students know when they graduate from high school exactly what they want to do for their career. Stephen started his college career at the University of Michigan with the intent of being an engineer. After 1.5 years, he knew this was not the direction for him and took some time off. With encouragement from his wife and a former teacher and coach, he started back to college and found that a teaching career was the fulfillment he was seeking. With persistence to overcome struggles along the way, Stephen completed his studies and became a teacher. His personal story is one he shares with his students to show how hard success can be to accomplish, but always worth the struggle.
Well, I had him last year for geometry, and I've had really good math teachers before him, but I learned a lot in his class. I mean, I'm good at math, so I have a little bit of, I guess, bias. So, I don't know. Mr. Guerra, he's really good with kids. Like, he's almost like just a normal guy who's friends with the kids, but he happens to teach.
Mr. Guerra made geometry fun. I never really liked geometry, but when I walked into his class, I could tell we were going to have a good day. He made the lesson fun. We might have not done any extra activities, but just doing notes, doing homework, he made it fun for us.
He's really nice, and he got to connect with the students really well, and it seemed easier for everyone to learn because he connected with them, so they weren't bored in the class.
He has phrases of the day. Those are fun. Always has warm-ups to get you started. His lessons are always straightforward.
When he would give us examples, he would always do food because we could always relate to food.
I had geometry with Mr. Guerra, and it really helped because it became easier with his teaching.
Students have a mentor to whom they can relate and go to for support and understanding. Stephen's teaching philosophy is reflected in his everyday interaction with his students. He says, "If I can get students to have fun, they might accidentally learn something." And that's part of my motivation as a teacher, to become the same person that helped the younger version of me find my purpose and mission in life. Through the student comments in the nomination form, it is obvious that Stephen is able to reach his students. Anasty says, Mr. Guerra deserves this honor because he is an excellent teacher who encourages the students to learn, and he has different ways of teaching. He makes math seem super fun. He will connect with the students, and along the way, the students learn a lot. Brendan added, Mr. Guerra makes class fun and entertaining while making sure everyone understands the material. Evan's description reads, he is a teacher that makes the class entertaining while also teaching his students information in a way that makes it easy to understand. I feel encouraged to learn and comprehend the material. He is helpful to the students and engages with the students about the material and sometimes about beans. Connor says he brings joy and encouragement to his students. Additional comments include, great teacher who goes beyond the curriculum to be a good role model. He is helpful when it is needed. He made the class feel very comfortable and enjoyable, and he is always very accepting of questions. He makes you want to keep on learning, and even when you've had a bad day, his class makes you laugh. He teaches math to people who don't want to learn math and does it well. He makes learning fun. It is easy to see the respect and admiration that the students have for their teacher. In his free time, Stephen enjoys technology and gaming, as well as watching anime and riding his bicycle back and forth to school every day and on the Kiwanis Trail on the weekends. Stephen and his wife live in Adrian and have 4 daughters, 3 of whom attend Michener Elementary.
Congratulations, Mr. Guerra.
Congratulations, Mr. Guerra.
Congratulations, Mr. Guerra.
Congratulations, team. Please come forward and accept the award.
Thank you. That was, yeah. Yeah. So first of all, I'll start with, I'm not one for, Tracy said the same thing, I'm not one for speeches. And when I was asking my wife what I was going to say, she's just like, say you're not good for speeches and just walk away and say thank you. That's fine. So first of all, I want to thank my wife, Noelle. She's the reason that I made it through school, as the video kind of said. She pushes me to be the better version of myself and, kind of gives me that slap on the back of the head when I'm being really stubborn and I get complacent. And so I really owe all my success to her, even though she's going to hate that I said that. So the second group of people that I want to thank is the students, because clearly I wouldn't be here without them. Specifically my third hour class from last year, which Everett and Allison and Honesty were a part of, that I had a tough teaching assignment the year before, and I was really kind of thinking about, the direction that I wanted to go in and what I wanted to do, and that class really kind of showed me my passion again for teaching, and they laughed at my really bad jokes, and honestly I can tell them that they were my favorite class, and I just can't tell anybody else that, so, because they're all my favorite students. But also to the Educational Foundation, because even though teachers like myself, we don't do this for the recognition, it definitely feels great to see students support you and be acknowledged, so I really do appreciate that. And then to some of my coworkers, or not some of them, all of them I guess, to my coworkers and colleagues for making this an easy environment to work in, especially to Elaine, who I saw today. During the first couple years that I was here at Adrian, me bugging her basically every day, just trying to figure out stuff, and so I really appreciate that. So as the video kind of said, is once I started my school at Siena, my teaching career wasn't in doubt, and it wasn't until my student teaching that you figure out how to, through classes, operate and how to talk to kids, how to teach, and all that kind of stuff. But I was really having trouble taking over someone else's space. That's not me to be imposing. I don't want to interrupt anybody else's thing that they have going on. And so I struggled a little bit. And my cooperating teacher, she sat me down and we had a heart-to-heart. And she said to me, is this really what you want to do? And I really had to think about who I was and what I wanted. And I needed to find who I was as a teacher and as a person. And I've always been really weird and awkward, if you couldn't really tell. And I needed to bring that to my teaching. And so it wasn't, at some point throughout my student teaching, I found a video, and I was bringing this up to a class the other day, and once I started showing that, and once I started letting my personality show, I started to, get a lot better at it. And after teaching middle school for 3 years, it's safe to say that my weirdness kind of elevated. And anybody that's taught middle school, you kind of know. So I came to Adrian completely by accident, and I received a random email asking to schedule an interview without technically me applying. I wasn't even looking for a job at that point. I believe my application was still on file with the system, and it just popped up one day. But my wife told me to go for it and see what was there, because it could be a potential change for our family. And after a tough first year, transitioning from a private middle school to a public high school was a big kind of jump for me. And struggling that first year, and I really needed, I didn't lose it, but I lost my personality, and I needed to find that again. And I reread a book from that I had for college called Discipline with Dignity, and a section was titled, Be Predictably Unpredictable, encouraging teachers to be quirky and weird, which I'm definitely good at. And so with that, I try to keep kids off balance and just being random and just saying weird things, dancing while calling on kids, or just standing in an awkward position waiting for them to answer. As you saw, I don't stand still a lot, and it's one of those things that the energy that I have, that excitement that I have, I want them to kind of feel that and kind of pick up from that. Because I want my classroom to be inviting, I want it to be interesting, because even though I love math, math isn't everyone's favorite, and that's why I was created, and I was quoted saying, if I can get kids to have fun, they might just accidentally learn something. And that has driven me to keep my classes light while still getting the work done. Because kids come in and they say, oh, Mr. Guerra, I know that you're an easy teacher, and I'm not at all. They think that just because I'm fun and I make jokes all the time, well, bad jokes, I guess, that it's going to be easy, but I still make sure that they get the work done while keeping them going. So in closing, when I was called about this award, I had a ton of things that went through my mind, and you think about all these kids and maybe who even nominated you and things like that, and it was really kind of the icing on the cake for my year. I had a lot of good things happen to me that year, and lots of things going on, and that was just kind of the icing there, is to get the kids to recognize that I was really there for them. And as teachers, or at least me, I always feel like I'm never doing enough, and I'm always thinking I could have done more for that kid, and I always tell myself, if I could just change the life of one of these kids, I'll feel fulfilled. And sometimes I never feel that way, like I don't, but I do have a visual today, and when I was called, I found it in my dresser. So I don't know if you can see these or not. These are a bunch of just dollar coins. Every year at a graduation ceremony, they give the seniors a coin to give to someone that was influential through their path of school. And I have 32 in the 6 years that I have taught at Adrian. And that is a sentiment to me that at least 32 kids have felt that I've done something special for them. And for those kids and everybody else that I've taught and everyone here tonight, just thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen. Well said. Our next Outstanding Teaching and Mentoring Award recipient is Jason Skeels.
Jason Skeels is entering his 15th year in education and is being honored as a teacher and coach at Adrian High School. He graduated from Tecumseh High School, Grand Valley State University with a bachelor's degree in group social studies and a master's degree from Michigan State University in educational technology. Currently, he is an instructional coach for Adrian Public Schools. At the time of this nomination, he was teaching social studies and has also taught freshman seminar, civics, economics, history of sports in the U.S., senior seminar, and sociology. He has also participated in a variety of committees for school improvement, technology, hiring, and curriculum. Knowing the value of the whole student, he is involved in many extracurricular activities and sports. He enjoys tutoring students in small groups and individually. He takes pride in his time and efforts as a coach. He has coached various sports, including JV and varsity football, JV and varsity softball, of which he is the current head varsity coach. He helped establish a powerlifting club that is now a varsity sport at Adrian High School. Jason feels as educators, it is our job to get our students involved in their community and know what is happening around them. He tries to prepare them for the real world with real-life examples, projects, guest speakers, and community participation and involvement. He works hard to try to establish a positive relationship with his students. He wants them to know they can trust him and come to him in times of need. Jason stated, with active teaching, a student-centered classroom, community interaction, and movement in the classroom, I feel my classroom is a great place to come and learn.
He's a great coach. He pushes really hard on the field. He is very encouraging, and he pushes you past what you think you can do and your limits. And in the classroom, he is very helpful. He helps you when you need help.
Mr. Skeels was my civics and economics teacher last year, and I like him because he was always there to help you if you ever needed questions, and his grading scale was kind of different, so he graded on participation and not on correctness.
He's probably one of my favorite teachers. I had him last year for economics. He's really nice.
Mr. Skeels has been a mentor to me from his first year at Adrian in 2017 when I was a senior until now, 4 years out of high school. He has helped with Adrian Public Schools in countless ways, one of them being through the softball program. My senior year on the softball team, we learned so much more than just softball skills and how to play the game. He taught us about how to be a family rather than a team. He even gave us valuable lessons about life, like nothing good happens after midnight. And since high school, I've had the pleasure of helping with the softball program and most recently the middle school program. I didn't think that I was capable of teaching middle schoolers softball, but Mr. Skills assured me that that was possible. He made sure that I'd help every step of the way, and he would even take time out of his day to help make my practice plans, and he took time out of his own practices to have the high schoolers help the middle schoolers with the basics. That's just the type of person that Mr. Skills is. He's the leader that is just always trying to teach, and if you know him, you know that. He wants his players and students to succeed not only on the softball field and in the classroom, but in life. Day in and day out, he is selfless for his students, players, and his community.
Several students supported Jason's nomination for this award, and their comments reflect his success as a teacher to support these students. A couple of key comments read like this: Mr. Skills always has the students' best interest in mind. He is an outstanding leader. Mr. Skills is also very motivating, kind, and helpful to his students. He is good at giving clear, concise information and direction. His lessons are fun and easy to follow. He is a chill guy who encourages his students to be better while also providing a comfortable environment. Another student stated, Mr. Skills has a passion for what he does. He makes learning fun for everyone in the room. He makes sure everyone fully understands the material before giving us an assignment. He doesn't only care about the schoolwork, he also cares about how we're doing outside of school.
Would you rather walk through cobwebs or touch something slimy? So make your choice and then you're gonna do your movement. Mr. Skills, I can't tell which one yours is. I can't do this. They got it. You guys gotta figure it out. You hate
I can deal with this sliding. I don't like cobwebs. Those spiders? No way.
And another student statement read, when I go to class, he always is welcoming to everyone, and he is just so kind to everyone, and he makes us feel wanted here at the school. Jason is a huge family man with lots of support for all his activities. In his spare time, he likes to watch sports, coach, play sports, lift weights, run, bike, and enjoy the outdoors through camping, time on the water, and exploring new places. He has a wife, Megan, and 2 daughters, Anderson, who is a first grader at Lincoln, and 3-year-old Gracie, who will soon be a mini Maple.
Congratulations, Mr. Skills.
Congratulations, Mr. Skills.
Congratulations, Mr. Skills.
Congrats on the Outstanding Teacher and Mentor Award, Coach. You deserve it.
Well, I did write a speech here, but I'm going to go a little ad-lib to start. I just told Jenny that it was very cool to see Becca on there, former player, student of mine, so it was neat to see that. So just take a moment for me to take Solomon. Pretty cool, I'm impressed. And thank you guys for this honor. So I'll go back to the speech now. I'm extremely thankful to the Adrian Schools Educational Foundation for choosing me as an outstanding educator this year. I look around at the other outstanding educators who were selected, and I'm extremely impressed with what they do every day. Stephen Garrett, who I've seen in action throughout my past 5 years at Adrian, makes math fun and exciting for our students on a daily basis. Nate Parker is a real example of a leader in his building and throughout the district who is highly respected by everybody. Those are just 2 of the individuals who have been chosen tonight that I've had the privilege to work with directly. I don't feel like compared to them as well as the others that have been selected. I am very excited nonetheless to deliver my speech on such an important occasion in my life. It is a huge honor for me to receive this award for being recognized for doing something I'm passionate about and truly enjoy. I've always told my students, find a career you enjoy, not a job. And I feel I found that here at Adrian Public Schools. I spent 9 years in Northern Michigan teaching, 5 years here, and after that tough decision to leave Northern Michigan, I think I made the right choice. I look forward to coming to school every day, working with students, my peers, administration, and others who make this a wonderful environment for learning and growth. even if it is dancing in the first grade classroom, which was not planned. I didn't think that'd be in the video. When I was a sophomore in high school, a particular teacher, who was also a coach of mine, helped me decide that education is where I wanted to go with my career. Since that time, I've grown tremendously as a person, and especially as an educator. Having experiences teaching some middle school, a lot of high school, coaching a number of sports, and interacting with thousands of students over the past 14 years, I've seen the role of education, and especially that of an educator, change. I feel that as an educator, we're not only responsible for teaching students, facilitating discussion, developing engaging activities, and contributing to their learning development, we are also responsible for preparing them for life in a difficult society today. A world of COVID, social media, anxiety, biased media, and so many non-truths. Teachers are imperative to helping students make sound decisions and find what is best for them. I want to thank everyone who has helped me get to this point. First, I need to thank the students, parents, staff, and administration at Adrian Public Schools. I've been fortunate enough to work with some outstanding kids and their families, both directly and indirectly, over the past 5 years. Some of them are in attendance tonight. I've also worked with some great staff and administration who have made my experience at Adrian such a positive one, who have helped me grow both personally and professionally. Next, I need to thank my family. My mom and dad are here tonight, and they have supported my goals and dreams, though some have been unrealistic, for 37 years now. Whether it be logically, financially, late night studying, no prayers in high school with my mom, and especially making me realize what is realistic for me. Also, my younger brother and his family who are in attendance. He's always been there to listen to me complain, hear my concerns, and be a calming influence throughout my entire life. And lastly, I'd like to thank my wife and kids who put up with a teacher and coach who comes home either beaming with pride and happiness after a great day of school or a win on the softball field, or a cranky, stubborn, frustrated teacher who might have had a rough day in the classroom or lost on the field. Somehow Megan stuck with me, and we have two crazy kids that have joined us in this journey of life. Thank you again to Adrian School's Educational Foundation for all you do for Adrian Public Schools and the students. And I'll leave you with some of my typical slogans I've used over the past few years. One was already mentioned. Be great. What we always talk about in our softball program, and I try to instill in each and every one of the young ladies I get the privilege of coaching. The next one, nothing good happens after midnight. What I always remind my students every Friday, though I stole it from a college professor, I found it to be very true. And lastly, go Maples. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Our final Outstanding Teaching and Mentoring Award recognition goes to Laura Wallace.
35 years and over 1,000 Adrian Public Schools student learners is a legacy that Laura Wallach has created during her teaching career to date. These years and students have been filled with dreams for these students and herself that have driven Laura every day to be the best teacher, mentor, peer, and person that she could be. Laura has faithfully served Adrian Public Schools, starting in a portable classroom at Lincoln Elementary, then McKinley teaching multi-age classes in 3rd through 5th grades, and finally Michener, where she teaches 4th grade. She did a 2-year stint at Drager Middle School teaching 6th grade social studies before returning to Michener. Her nomination form is filled with accolades from students and Michener staff, noting the many contributions she has made in a variety of ways to the betterment of her students and staff. Her principal sent these comments: Laura drives a positive culture. She comes with solutions and not just problems. She is always looking for ways to enrich the learning experience for our students, thus motivating her to write thousands of dollars in grants over the years. She is selfless in her service to others.
Mrs. Wallach is a nice teacher. We do fun craft things with her. And when we read, we like to make jokes about it.
Mrs. Wallach is a great teacher, and she lets us, when we have indoor recess, she lets us play games.
Miss Wallach is a great teacher. She teaches writing and reading and social studies. And I love when she teaches social studies because she just like knows what she's doing, and she has a bunch of experience with people, and so she's really kind to everybody, and she always tells us in the morning what happens in her life.
She likes to do fun stuff with us, and today we actually looked at the globe and asked a lot of questions in social studies, and she is a good teacher.
And we do donuts, and if we get 12 donuts, then we get like a big award and we can have a party. And Miss Wallach always jokes about how we're going to make her poor because we're so good in her class.
She's an amazing veteran teacher. She's got the energy of a first-year teacher. I've been very blessed to have her here in this building while I've been principal. She's a big support, a team player, always has new and fresh ideas. And the funny thing about Laura is that if she has a fresh idea, it almost always gets done. She's great at fundraising and getting her way. Love that part about her. So very blessed to have her here.
Sometimes we think students don't always notice the efforts of our teachers, but one of Laura's fourth graders sent these observations. Mrs. Wallach works so hard. She helps plan school-wide pride activities. She also does after-school tutoring and directs the musical. She will help you with anything, and she will take the time to understand what you need. When I don't understand something, she will help me or find someone to help me. She is a loving and kind person and always wants you to do your best because she wants you to have a great life. Another student said, "She does everything. She has a split class, and that's really hard, but she does it well. When we need help, she's there. When we are hurt, she's there. She inspires us to be the very best and reach our potential." Another one of Laura's peers said this, "Laura cares deeply about this community and wants every student who walks through the doors to know that they are important and are capable of amazing things. She holds high expectations for her students. She understands the individual needs of each student while encouraging all to grow and improve regardless of how small the achievement." Maybe one of the nicest compliments comes from a student who stated, "Mrs. Wallach is smart because it seems like when she helps, she always knows the answer. She is funny by telling us jokes that make us laugh, and she is brave when there are spiders that come through the windows." One staff member summed up her observations in this statement. "Laura leads with an honesty about the world that is refreshing and sometimes shocking to the student. She doesn't sugarcoat life. She explains how things will be as the students grow and move from her classroom to the next and finally into the real world. Laura likes to spread love around the building with a variety of social activities for the staff. She is always willing to spread positivity and cheer throughout the school, and it's very infectious." Laura stated that helping others realize their full potential is a gift few other careers offer. She has set a wonderful example for her students and her peers of a positive belief in the goodness of each person. Laura is a graduate of Adrian College and Eastern Michigan University with additional credit hours from Siena Heights and others. She has also been an adjunct professor at Adrian College. Laura is married to Marty and has two daughters, Marie and Kayla.
Congratulations, Mrs. Wallach.
Congratulations, Laura. Please come forward and accept the award.
I'll keep this really short because I know everybody's tired and wants to go home. I am so honored to be here tonight and to have some past people that have touched my life here. Deb and Annie are here, and I've had the blessing to work with Tracy Pickle too. Her and I were the most strict teachers, I think, over at Traeger when I was there. And I was going to be a lawyer for a year and a half when I came to Adrian College, and I'm from the Detroit area. And when I first got here, Adrian Mall had Sears at one end and Penny's at the other in the map. And you could see both ends, and I was not sure I was going to stay in Adrian, but here I am 36 years later. I really have to thank my husband and my kids for putting up with me all the time. I'm kind of in constant teacher mode, and my kids would often tell me in the car, "Mom, you can stop teaching now." So I'd be driving past something and pointing out all the work landmarks and everything. But I have the blessing of coming to work every day, and 36 years isn't long enough. People keep asking me, "Are you going to retire soon?" And I keep saying, "No, I still love exactly what I'm doing." So I'm very happy to be here. And my Michener family should all be up here too, because there's not one person in our building that does a job. It's all of us. We're a family. From the minute I walk through the door in the morning till the time we all drag ourselves out in the evening, I'm blessed to be with them. So I thank the foundation. You constantly support me. I do write a lot of grants. And I'm always so lucky when I see the Prize Patrol come, because I know I can do some excellent things with my kids. The video you saw was the kids rehearsing for the Lion King. You're all invited next. We're going to be on this stage here on the 18th, so I hope everybody can come back and support those kids. I wasn't sure what they would say, and I'm glad to know I'm brave about spiders. So, thank you all. This is such an honor, and like I said, they should have Adrian Public Schools award night and just have everybody come up and stand here, because from Bob, the Board of Education, Foundation, we couldn't do what we do every day without that kind of leadership, and Ann and Deb Reisner's here tonight too. I've just had the blessing of working with so many great leaders that they just inspire you. So thank you all, and appreciate everybody coming out tonight. And thank you especially to Marty. We're going to celebrate our 30th anniversary in December, and he's put up with me for a long time. So.
Thank you, Laura. Congratulations once again to all of our honorees tonight. We have a lot to celebrate, and you all have much to be proud of. Thank you for your dedication to Adrian Public Schools and our children. Thank you all for attending this evening. You've been a great audience. All are welcome to join us in the lobby for refreshments and reception. I now ask that all recipients make their way to the stage for a group photo. Thanks and good night.